In this presentation, we'll be taking a look at what's new in NX 2007-2206 drafting related topics. A quick overview of our agenda here. First, we'll take a look at the modernized text entry dialog. Next, we'll look at the new enhanced feature control frame user interface. And then finally, we'll take a look at some standards investments and updates that Siemens has made to the software based on some new standard changes. Jumping into the first topic here, modernized text entry dialog. So with the new modernized text entry dialog here, which is the note dialog we're referring to here, since adopting the continuous release strategy, NX Drafting has made incremental changes to the note dialog. Comparing the NX12 note command to today, we now have a dynamic HTML text editor inside that note dialog. A new text editor will enable you to enter the text without tags in the text input dialog, and it will be identical to the text that appears instantly inside the graphics window. So what you see is what you get here. The next item to talk to here is the General Text Entry Context tab. When you start to create a general note inside your drafting environment, or if you're creating that inside of PMI, you will be presented with a new toolbar that has all the different tools up there to build your notes. So things such as customizing the font, adding expressions, part attributes, etc., as well as feature control frames, and then all the settings related to the text on that toolbar as well. The General Text Entry Context tab is going to include things such as entry of your expressions, part attributes, your sheet zones, custom symbols, feature control frames, and datum feature symbols, as well as your traditional symbols. On the Quick Access Shortcut toolbar, as I'm interacting with the text inside the dialog there, the Quick Access Shortcut toolbar is going to open up if I highlight some text. This is going to allow me to go ahead and quickly modify the font, whether I want to make that boldface type font, or italicized, underline, overline, or I can even insert a symbol from here very quickly. We now have an MS Office-like symbol palette. Once we click on the symbol icon here, it's going to open up that symbol palette, and you'll have all your familiar drafting symbols that were with NX all these years, but we can also take advantage of using some system font symbols as well here. Additionally, the Leader and Origin user interface has been enhanced. Taking advantage of preferences and customer defaults, we have reduced the overall size and complexity of the Origin and the Leader blocks, which are common across drafting user interface. Our next topic here, taking a look at the new enhanced feature control frame user interface inside the software. So enhancements to streamline the common user workflows and increase productivity within NX Drafting have been made here. With the new enhancement to the feature control frames, traditionally, if we were going to add our feature control frames inside of our notes and embed those, in the past, we had to click on the drafting symbols. We had to go into the GD&T symbol tab down below, open that up, and start to build our GD&T frame inside that note dialog. Now, when you did build these GD&T frames, they were represented as a series of numbers, letters, and characters that made up the frame. If I had to go back in and edit that frame, if I inadvertently deleted one of those characters that I was not as familiar with, what that would do, it might really change the feature control frame quite drastically. Especially if you are a new user to the software and you weren't familiar with what those symbols, letters, and numbers did for building the frames, it could be quite confusing when you went in to make those edits. Now, with the enhancements here, it's a much easier interface to interact with and create these feature control frames and embed those inside of our notes. Now, with the new feature control frame interface, the software is introducing a new user interface on the ribbon bar there. So if I want to create these feature control frames, you're going to see as I enter the feature control frame creation process, the ribbon bar is going to change, and I will have all the tool sets up there on that ribbon bar to build out my feature control frames. This is going to allow for a simplified feature control frame dialog with that context tab and user interface. It does support reordering compound datums and indicators here, and it allows for an enhanced compound datum reference specification and text entry when you create these feature control frames. This allows for an improved workflow that's going to increase your efficiency and provide an enhanced user experience. Taking a look at the standards investments that Siemens has made in the software. The first investment we'll look at here is with ASME. The ASME 14.5 2018, we have the from to symbol that has been added to the software. In order to define the direction in which tolerance or requirements are applied, the from to symbol was introduced in ASME Y14.5 2018. This has been implemented in the system palette and tolerance modifiers group of the feature control frame command for both drafting and PMI applications. We also have the ISO 10135 all over leader types. In accordance with DIN, EN ISO 10135, the all over leader type is now supported when creating notes with those leaders. In addition, we also have new native NX command to specify finishing instructions for our edges on our parts. We can specify tolerances for the state of internal or an external edge. It is configurable, and the preferences and the customer defaults here. It is supported in both drafting and PMI applications. It's going to provide support for creating standards compliant drawings here with these types of internal or external conditions for your corners. This can be used in document finishing instructions for the edges on your parts. It is a nice standalone command to define the tolerance deviations on internal or external edges here, and it is compliant with ISO 13715 and JIS variants. So overall, you can see some of those user experience investments that Siemens has made in the software with the ISO 10135, note with the all over leader there. We also have that from to symbol for the ASME Y14.5. And in addition, we have whole callout metric threads, added support to create the metric whole callout dimensions on threaded holes and symbolic threads here. So NX drafting benefits here. With NX, it is easy to produce and maintain your engineering drawings for your designs. NX is proven to be a well-established product with high quality, and Siemens is continually investing inside the usability to streamline users' time inside that drafting application. Thank you for watching my presentation. And up next is my colleague John Vincent. He'll be presenting NX CAM milling and machining.